Hi, I'm Brian Eisenhower, and I'm here with Elizabeth Gilbert. Elizabeth is the COO of the Ron Henderson real estate team. She has managed the administrative side of that team for quite some time now, so much and been so successful at it that she was just recently recognized by Inman News for her work on her real estate website and blog called theassistantfiles.com. And so I asked her to sit down with us today so we could talk a little bit about the part when, or the task of hiring a second administrative assistant when a real estate agent or a real estate agent's team gets so successful where one administrative assistant just cannot keep up with a load. When, how, why do we actually then hire a second assistant moving forward? And one thing we had been discussing was we typically see that's at about between 100 and 150 transactions closed a year.
That's what it was for us, yeah.
Yeah, it almost always seems to fall in that range. Once you get over 100 to 150, somewhere in there, that second administrative assistant is needed to really get the job done at a high level.
Yeah, on a daily basis, that came from me when I had 4 transactions in one day that completely took over the entire day. That was all I worked on, nothing else got done. And for us, that became our new floor. We said, that's what we want every day. How can we make that happen? Well, it wasn't going to happen with me being the only admin. It was definitely time to hire.
Yeah, I think that's neat how you said that. That was going to be the new floor. So you didn't wait till you were closing 4 every single day.
No.
You made that your goal and you actually started the hiring process in advance of the need.
Definitely. We knew when it was time that we needed to send me to Recruit Select, which is a class on how to hire, how to find somebody to hire, and how to pick the right person and get them on your team.
Right.
And I did all of it, 100% of it. Found the person that we wanted, got them in, interviewed them, put them through the process, and then really my rainmaker, Ron, never saw the person until the end after I'd already said, this is our new hire, come say hi.
And isn't that really the benefit of hiring in advance of actually needing someone? So many agents will hire, oh my gosh, I'm going to panic, I'll hire someone now. Now you have to do it yourself, you're going to be less selective, you're going to do it out of urgency, and you don't have the time to train that person adequately before doing the role.
Yep.
So oftentimes the relationship doesn't work from the outset because it was doomed to fail because of the urgency around it.
Exactly.
In this case, you actually had the time to learn the hiring process. We use it as a vehicle to train you to hire someone. You could do it slowly, methodically, pick the right person.
Yeah, from the time we decided to hire until actually making the hire, 3 months had passed.
Yeah, and that gives you time to be selective and thorough, and you can learn it. And in theory, that first hire should always be the agent's last. Elizabeth was the first hire.
Yep.
Elizabeth then took all hires from that. And I work with this agent that you work with as well too. And I know that I met the candidates long before he did.
Definitely.
And that so he could keep his foot on that gas pedal and continue to get business and take listings where you really are the administrative manager.
Exactly.
So we're hiring a leader, not necessarily an assistant.
Yeah.
And you certainly are a leader, so he can let go of the administrative side, and he can focus on what he does best, which I love.
Exactly.
Okay, so what does the second hire do? And I think when we break down the administrative manager's role, what Elizabeth did initially, you could break it down into 4 general categories, right? We've got them up here on the screen before. You've got a listing manager, which takes deals from listing to contract, transaction coordinator, contract to close, your marketing, database management, marketing listings, things like that, website, could be blogging, anything, any promotion.
Yep.
And to the administrative end, which could be financials, accountability, profit and loss statements, budget, bill paying, hiring.
Yes.
All of that would fall into that role. You get over 100 transactions, that's just too much.
Oh, definitely.
Especially when the average bears administrative assistant just like inputs things into a computer. That's not an administrative manager.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely a leadership role across the board. And once you start having more people on the team, that administrative part is easier to take on for one person and give away the rest.
Yeah, and so what did you give away? You know, what was the, how did you determine which half of this you're going to keep and which half you give away.
For me, that was easy. The transaction coordinator part was the easiest part for me to give away, because that's a high touch with the client on the phone a lot. It's a very caring type of role, and that is not my strength. So I gave away my weakness and made that somebody else's strength, hired somebody that was strong in that role, very empathetic, very good on the phone. And that has proven to be like a great hire for me.
Right. This alone, this number 2, this transaction coordinator, that's taking everything from contract to close.
Yep.
So all the listings ultimately go from contract to close,
Yep.
and all the buyer's agents, the buyer's side deals go from contract to close too.
Yep.
So this can be a log jam position. This can be one
It
person
is.
in and of itself.
Yep.
And oftentimes you'll see agents say, okay, we're going to take both these 2 up top, and then the person you hire, might take both these 2, and Elizabeth keeps both of
yep.
these.
Yep.
So you train and give away these 2.
Yep.
However, sometimes a lot of the marketing is in alignment with the listing side.
It is, yeah.
So you'll see someone just give the transaction coordinating and keep a lot of the listing work there too.
Indeed.
So that combination, typically you're going to divide this, give half away.
Yep.
This is basically based on what your initial hire wants to keep. And I see more often than not, the first administrative assistant / manager, once they then hire a second one, tends to keep this the most.
Yeah. That really is the driver of the business. It's the forward-facing part of the business, and that's the most important.
Yeah, so many have a hard time with it though, because this is so much of the work.
Yeah.
That behavior may feel uncomfortable moving into the leadership role.
Yeah.
They want to stay where they're comfortable and hire someone to do this. But now this is your hiring, this is the person running the books, this
Yep.
is your CFO,
Exactly.
it's your COO.
Yep.
This typically is your leader. So I see most successful teams, this is the first hire. This is what's given away.
Exactly.
But either way, we break it down into those 4 categories. It's really up to the administrative
Yep.
manager to pick it. So
Give away the weakness.
absolutely, give away the weakness,
Yep.
exactly. Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for your time with us today.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.